The Beatles are a great band and have some great albums, but if you don't want to spend a fortune, these are the Beatles albums that are essential to any vinyl collection. Rubber Soul. From 1965, this is the Beatles in transition, before they got really psychedelic, but after the Love Me Do, I Want to Hold Your Hand phase. This is the Beatles maturing and sounding great. This album, Rubber Soul, there's probably more acoustic guitar, at least prominent acoustic guitar, on this album than any other Beatles record, so it's kind of got more of an American, folk, country kind of sound to it. And as if to clarify that, George Harrison even wearing the cowboy hat on the back cover. It's not really an album packed with hits, Norwegian Wood, Michelle, In My Life as well, but there's some other songs like You Won't See Me, Think for Yourself, written by George Harrison. Also, It's Only Love, A Girl, Run for Your Life, kind of some sinister lyrics on there. The Beatles really matured, and it's a great sounding album. Just the warm acoustic sort of sound to it. And then there's the iconic cover, the Rubber Soul up in the left corner, and the band's name not on there. It's a picture of the band. You know who it is. They don't need to put their name. The Beatles, though, of course, is on the back cover. Definitely one you should have in the collection, Rubber Soul. And this one is a must-have, Abbey Road. Of course, one of the most iconic album covers in music history, not just because it's the Beatles and it's a great album, but because it's a real place. People to this day walk across Abbey Road and get their picture taken, just like the Beatles did in 1969. And I've always wondered about the back cover too, with the Beatles sign, Abbey Road. Looks real. Like, is that an actual sign that was in the wall? Is it still there? The picture of course, the girl walking by. Just a great cover, front and back, and the music inside, nothing short of extraordinary. For me, this is the Beatles' best album. They're at their finest hour on Abbey Road, from Come Together, one of their most famous songs, to Octopus's Garden. Here Comes the Sun is on Abbey Road. Maxwell's Silverhammer. Also, Something, another great George Harrison tune. And then side 2 is just phenomenal. If you ever want to hear the Beatles at their best, side 2 of Abbey Road is what you need to hear. The sound of Ringo's drumming, the guitar, the lyrics, the songwriting, it's just can't be beat. When it comes to the Beatles, Abbey Road, definitely an essential. So 2 albums, Rubber Soul and Abbey Road. If you want to hear the Beatles at their best and not necessarily all of the hits, those are the 2 albums to own. And then, if you want the Beatles and their hits, you get the red and the blue album. Front cover of this, front cover of that, back cover of this, back cover of that. The Red and the Blue album, these were released in 1973. 73, 74, there were a lot of 60s bands that were getting their albums re-released, and the Beatles, no different. This is kind of a record company thing, but still a great way to get the Beatles on vinyl without having to buy all of the albums. You're not paying a fortune, and you have all of the greatest songs. The pictures of them looking over the balcony, the young Beatles, the wiser Beatles. And then the inside of each record is the same. The famous picture of the Beatles with everybody else looking through the gates. It's a great way to get all of the best Beatles, and there's a lot more of these around for usually more of an affordable price than the original records. So the blue and the red albums, definitely an essential for any collection. And then this one isn't one you necessarily would think of. It wasn't an official record. It came out in 1977. The Beatles were long broken up by then, but it's a great album. The Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. This is, just as the title suggests, the Beatles recorded at the Hollywood Bowl in California over 2 concerts, August 23rd, 1964 and August 30th, 1965. Beatlemania on record right here. First of all, you have the cover and the tickets on the front, as well as the Beatles' name and the title of the record are all embossed, so it's pretty cool. The back, there's also a ticket there, and that's embossed as well. Information, the song titles, and the dates. And it's a gatefold sleeve. So it opens up. And then inside, this is great. The inside gatefold, the picture, plus a whole bunch of relics from Beatlemania. On the back cover, there's a write-up about how this record came to be. George Harrison heard the tapes in 1977 and he thought, you know, these sound pretty good actually. Now, of course, there's the screaming. The girls scream throughout. It's Beatlemania. I couldn't even imagine playing with a force like that coming at you, but somehow the Beatles managed to do it, and they sound great. There's been no overdubs on this record because by the time it was released, the Beatles, it was long gone. They weren't going to go back and fix up any of this stuff. You just couldn't replicate that in a studio anyway. Then inside, this is the best part, the inner sleeve. You have the pictures of the girls on this side. And then the same girls about a second later on this side. That is Beatlemania. If you can find it, it's definitely worth picking up. The Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl.